Hello and welcome to Learning Group 4 Impact presentation. This presentation is about the lovely Rita, who sadly I didn't get the opportunity to meet on the interview day. Rita, my name is Angela. I know you're going to be watching this to give us feedback, and I just wanted to say I really hope this presentation today is an accurate representation of your experience that you shared with us. So all about Rita. Rita has been an Impact member since just before COVID, so about 5 years now. Rita is a formidable woman. She's a proud woman who has always taken great care of herself, her health and fitness, and her appearance. Rita retired at 62 and is 80 years old next October. Rita was previously married and has 2 daughters who she put through university all by herself. And Rita is married now to the wonderful Keith and has been since 2010. So how Rita came to services. On the 11th of September 2008, Rita had a massive stroke which impacted her left-hand side. Rita was at home at the time with her then partner Keith when he saw her stumble and noticed her face was lopsided. Rita was home that day because she had retired and she was waiting for her friend Marguerite to come round with her dog who she was going to be looking after whilst Marguerite went to work. As she heard Marguerite come in the house, she got out of bed to go and make her a cup of tea, as she has done probably many times before. She put on her dressing gown and she walked to go and make the tea. And during that walk is when Keith noticed her stumble and her face become lopsided. Keith automatically told Marguerite to ring for an ambulance, which they did, and paramedics arrived soon after. During the time that they were waiting for the paramedics, Keith had put Rita to bed, and Rita doesn't like to wear clothes in bed, as most of us don't. And so when the paramedics came, she wasn't wearing any clothes. So when the paramedic walked in, he said, "Make this woman more respectable," which isn't the nicest way of putting things. However, Keith did his best and he got her out some underwear and eventually put them on. And so then Rita was taken into hospital. So Rita's experience whilst at hospital, unfortunately, was not a great one. She got admitted on Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Now, on the journey over, the paramedics informed the hospital that this was a suspected stroke. Strokes do have time limitations, and a scan should have happened within the first 3 hours of Rita's arrival in hospital. However, come 5 o'clock the following day on the Friday afternoon, she still had not received a scan. So Keith, being Keith, wheeled her down to ultrasound himself and he got her the scan that she really desperately needed. Up until this point, Rita had been left alone. She had no medication, no water. She had not been given a shower or been washed when she requested. It really is abysmal care at this point. And the fact that it is such a time relative matter is quite upsetting to think that she was there alone and with no water, no medication, no pain relief, no anything. So I'm really sorry that you experienced that, Rita. So after a stay in hospital, Rita's had to go back home. And throughout all of this period of time, Rita was never assigned a social worker. And so herself and Keith were left to their own devices and had to really try and fend for themselves and to fight for everything that they could in order to get Rita home. Somebody from the Stroke Association came out to see Rita, and in Rita's own words, she was as useful as a chocolate teapot. She handed them a leaflet and pretty much went on her merry way, which is not helpful in the slightest. However, Rita did have a really wonderful experience with occupational therapist and physio who came out to view the property to make sure that it was ready for Rita to move into and to make sure that she was safe enough to come home. So what support was there for Rita and Keith when Rita went home? The short answer is nothing. Because Rita owned her own home, she did not meet the threshold for financial assistance, care, or home adaptations. Keith stopped his job as an engineer to stay home and care for Rita, and they both lived off of Rita's pension. Keith got carer's allowance, but we all know what pittance that can be. They did apply for a PIP assessment, and initially it got refused. However, they did go took it to a tribunal and won, which is fantastic news, and they got what they were entitled to and are well deserving of. So life after services. Rita still lives with pain and some limitations following her stroke. She is very hot and cold sensitive, so if the room is nice and warm, her extremities will still be cold. Therefore, direct heat needs to be applied to those so she can feel the heat. Rita is still a force to be reckoned with. She is strong, dignified and formidable. At least that's how you came across to all of us, me from the audio and from my peers in person. Everybody commented on how kind, generous and encouraging you were of us student social workers. And firstly, I just want to say thank you for that, because it's really important for us to improve where we can and to learn. And this experience has been a massive learning experience. So thank you. And lastly, Rita and Keith married in 2010 and are still together to this day. So 2 years after Rita's stroke, they went on to be married. And as Rita so lovely put it, you're as old as the man you feel. And Keith is 5 years younger. So in summary, this was just a whistle-stop tour of the lovely Rita, and Rita's experience highlights just how useful social worker, I can put my teeth back in, just how useful a social worker would have been in this instance to help Keith and herself to coordinate everything and to know where to go and who to turn to. She really highlighted the importance of having somebody there, Keith being her rock, and to share the experience together and to lean on each other and to support one another. And not everybody has that in their close vicinity. So again, it really highlights the importance of having a social worker so that people know what's going on, people can coordinate, people can organise care following things such as this. Rita, it's been a pleasure to share your story today. I hope I've done it justice. If not, please let us know. We are all open to feedback, and I'm very much open to critiquing and to improving. So apologies if I didn't get anything correct. If you want me to change anything, I'm more than happy to. However, I hope I did okay. And I hope I get to meet you one day. It's been a privilege to learn all about you, and I wish you all the best.